with that, we have our next guest from GrayMatters. Again, congratulations. GrayMatters is actually a Breakthrough Alliance company that is one of the beneficiaries of hypothesis-driven, evidence-based work done by the Breakthrough Alliance and chaired by, again, Bill Taranto from the Merck Global Innovation Fund. And we have Oded live, I think, from Israel, right, Oded?
Yes, sir. Yes,
so again, congratulations on your raise and congratulations on all your success. Again, just tremendous business model and seeing nice growth across the ecosystem. But to start off, if you could tell our audience, again, we've got hundreds of folks from around the world who want to know more about what you're doing and how you're doing it and then why you're being successful at it. If you could just give us a 30-second bio on yourself and then another 30-second overview and profile on your company.
Sure. So just before that, great to see you again, Stan, and thank you for hosting me here on HITLAB. It's been really interesting, the conference, and I love the pace. And just so you know, if you remember that, I also used to live in San Diego, so you got 2 in a row now. Quickly about me, electrical engineer by training many years ago, then worked for the US DoD on a joint project between the 2 governments in San Diego. Then GE Healthcare, nuclear medicine and PET-CT division, ran the business unit for the applications, small startup named Medingo, developing insulin patch pump for diabetes, sold to Roche, led the Roche Diabetes Care 10-year product portfolio. Let's see. Then Kornit Digital pigment and textiles, so very different. We went public with this one on NASDAQ, and for the past 5 years, one of the co-founders of GrayMatters and the CEO, where we are developing a digital self-neuromodulation therapy for mental disorders. Right now, we focus on PTSD and depression by helping patients regain control over their emotion regulation. Our product Prism does this by connecting specific mental disorders with the relevant underlying brain processes or mechanisms, what the NIMH refers to as domains under the RDoC framework. We are, to the best of our knowledge, the first to be using machine learning technology to create an electrical fingerprint of those specific brain mechanisms to produce biomarkers that we use then for treatment. We are based in Haifa, Israel, raised our seed February 2020, so right before COVID or BC, and very recently did our Series A financing and running a multi-center trial for PTSD in the US and in Israel.
That's impressive. And again, I think, one of the things that the audience really wants to know is, tell us about the raise that you just closed on last week and then, or a couple weeks ago, and how you got it done, because there's obviously a lot, someone earlier from 7wire mentioned that there's $1 trillion sitting on the sidelines. So obviously you found some of that trillion. Tell the audience how you did it, and a little bit about the profile on the raise.
So would it suffice to say that we've been working hard and move on to the next question? It's a lot of work. I mean, the $7 trillion is not up for grabs. And I think even before founding GrayMatters back in 2018, we've connected with investors who throughout our discussions and meetings found to have proven to be partners in our vision of how we can leverage deep technology to improve mental health care. And it's a process. It's a process of building the relationship and finding the right champions within these organizations and understanding the needs of the market, of the investors, and making sure that we're able to, maintain the integrity of them all by driving the company forward. As you said, last week, we announced the closing of the 10 million Series A financing round led by Otsuka Medical Devices from Japan. They've also obtained certain rights to our product Prism in Japan and other countries in Asia. And we've had existing investors, including Marius Nacht and Joyance Ventures, as well as some new US-based investor joining in.
Again, super impressive. And just a last question about the raise for a quick second. How many meetings did it take you to get to the eventual closing out the 10 million?
I don't know how to count, so I need some kind of AI engine to run these numbers.
Yeah, no, it's no doubt. It's a definitely, so over 100, we'll say for sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. That sounds about what we're seeing too. So, so again, let's get back to your business model, because behind every good valuation, behind every good raise, is a really good technology and obviously a really good management team, obviously. And so the key here is we want to understand a little bit more about your innovation around Prism. You and I have talked a lot about it. Obviously, you're a breakthrough company, so we love it. And by the way, for the audience, if someone's in the Breakthrough Alliance and they're a tech company in the Breakthrough Alliance, they had to pass a specific bar, a specific hurdle of not just HITLAB researchers, but also breakthrough board members, et cetera, to get into the breakthrough. So it is a bit of a vetting process. And again, HITLAB takes no equity in the companies. This is done, and there's no fees charged to the companies once they're selected to the Breakthrough Challenge. But Oded, tell us a little bit about the Prism Innovation.
Right. So I think it starts with Professor Talma Hendler, who is a psychiatrist and psychologist by training. And she saw the opportunity and need, of course, about 15 years ago. And she's the one who started using this new concept of machine learning. And that technology is at the core of what we do. So Prism is a non-invasive adjunct therapeutic that uses neuroscience-based and brain mechanism-specific biomarkers. We produce these biomarkers by using various machine learning models to fuse functional MRI, very expensive kind of data in machines, with EEG of specific brain networks of interest. For example, we focus on the emotion regulation system right now, centered around the amygdala, when treating disorders such as PTSD, because that network tends to be hyperreactive. Now, Prism, our product, then trains patients to downregulate those biomarkers by using self-neuromodulation techniques in front of an interactive audiovisual interface. So let's say a very active kind of interface. And that interface then responds to the patient's brain activity, sort of placing a mirror in front of that brain activity and leading to symptomatic alleviation. So first, we're using biomarkers of known processes of the brain. Second, we leverage the sense of agency, where the patient actually serves as an agent on their own behalf, and provide them guidance along the way. And finally, we build Prism in a way so it's an adjunct to standard of care and can be integrated very easily in any clinic workflow.
Okay, that sounds like it sounds like a major innovation. I'm assuming it's patented.
Yes, we have 5 patent families, correct.
And how do patients get access to Prism? Is it something they buy, or is it a therapy that they need a physician for?
So Prism is still pending FDA clearance. We'll be submitting later on this year. It will be available in clinics, prescribed by a physician and also supervised by a physician. We do plan on expanding this later on for home use, but we have a journey to get us there.
That's brilliant. And tell us a little bit about that process. We've got about 1 minute left or so in terms of your post FDA clearance process. What's your go-to-market strategy look like once you have FDA approving?
Right. So we're building this in a very gradual, I would say, a coherent way. First is we're already are working with several luminary sites in the US with KOLs to get the product in their hands as a part of the clinical studies. We want them to see what the product can do with patients. Feedback is good so far. Next, once we have FDA clearance, we'll start working with small clinics, private clinics that are more agile and fast to respond, so we can start generate the real world evidence, which then we'll be using when approaching the larger networks, the IDNs and so on. And in parallel, expand our portfolio beyond PTSD, depression, anxiety, and more, go with our treatment to home care. And finally, imagine the sheer amount of data that we will be collecting for treatments. And even from the small amount of data that we have right now, we can see that we can actually use that to produce new set of biomarkers to produce what we call objective psychiatry, diagnostics and monitoring. So quite a few ambitions there.
That's fantastic. And so, to finish it up, we started with this as well. Any tips for fundraising? Obviously, beyond the work hard and make over 100 meetings on your book.
Yeah.
So what else would you say?
So I'll try to be very quick. So I think the first one is know your story and make sure that as you tell it, you actually listen to the audience, because they will tell you, how to improve on that. And audience is investors, but also providers and patients. Second is know your numbers and know what you're committed to deliver. That will get you to the next round. And finally, surround yourself with people who complete you and can do things that you cannot, like my co-founder Ronnie and Shai and Talma and many, many others on the investor teams and clinical partners and the broader team of GrayMatters.
That's fantastic. And again, Oded, congratulations on all your success. It's obviously not easy to do at all. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.